You know what? That's it. It's time once and for all that this is no longer a struggle, because in this video, I'm going to share my complete leash guide so you can stop watching these YouTube videos on how to walk with your dog or your puppy on leash and start walking your dog instead. And when you stay tuned until the end, I will be sharing 10 super hacks that I rarely hear anybody talk about, plus all of my leash walking gear, everything from my adjustable hands-free leash down to the treat pouch and the actual treats that I use that work crazy well. So let's just jump into this video, right? It's a pet peeve of mine when I see these leash tip and training videos starting outdoors, because what I have learned after fostering dozens and dozens and dozens of rescue dogs, hi Wally, he's so excited, through the years, and having to teach them to walk on leash well, quickly, so that they get adopted faster and stay adopted and in their forever home forever, I have learned that the best way to start leash skills is inside and starting with focusing activities and getting your dog excited to pay attention to you. Because here's the key, guys, and if you stop watching this video after this first tip, you will be further along than so many other pet parents out there not watching this. And this first huge tip and step is getting your dog's attention. If you can master the art of your dog being excited to see you, being excited to listen to you, and excited to be around you, it is going to make everything so much easier, including leash training. And so what I mean by that is I want to be able to be at a point where I can go, Wallace, touch. Yes, good boy. Good job, Bentley, too. Where I can call Wally or my dog Bentley from anywhere in the house, and they'll either recall really well, or I can say his name and he'll give me an eye contact for a focus. And I'll talk more at the end of the video about how to do these things. Because again, once your dog learns to pay attention to you and learns that listening to you and following your guidance and recommendation, that good things happen, that they're secure and they're safe, they're much more likely to listen to you when you're outside with all the crazy distractions. So let's go ahead and move outside to step 2. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for Wally to SIT. I don't want to tell him, because before we go on any walk, especially in the beginning, or especially if our dog or puppy is struggling, we want to, yes, good job, good job, good job. I'm slow, but that's okay. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to progress. Progress and progression daily is key. Good boy, Wally. That was an example of a brain game. And if we can do little activities like this where we set our dogs up to be successful, right? I stood there, I was quiet, I didn't ask for anything, and waited for him to offer an SIT, he's going to learn so much more quickly that when this comes out, the leash, that if he comes up to me and he SITs calmly or sits calmly, he's gonna get the reward, which is getting this on because he's excited. What I'm doing here is starting the walk off on a positive note, and I'm setting a tone for what the walk is gonna be like. This is setting the expectations without even asking for the expectations. And so if you start your walks off with your dog jumping up, barking, pulling on the leash, which you'll see Wally started a habit of biting on the leash, and I'll show you how I'm working on that, then you're going to be setting your puppy or dog up for failure. And we don't want to do that. We always want our puppies to be successful, and that's on you and I. Okay, so see how he offered an SIT? So right there, how he jumped up at it, he's starting this. So you notice that I'm just ignoring it, and I'm gonna remove myself by standing up. Yes, good boy. And I'm gonna reward him for getting in a DOWN. So if your puppy is starting to bite at their harness or their leash, like Wally is, I'm just gonna stand up and ignore it. If it continues, I'm gonna physically turn away and walk away, because I don't want him to practice that behavior. And I also, yes, good boy, want to positively reinforce him for being down. You can even, to make it easier for your dog, get down on their level to start, right? Because sometimes you standing encourages that. So again, we want our puppies to be successful. So I came down on his level so he is more likely to match my positioning. And I was a little late earlier just now, but I want to call that out because again, I'm not perfect. When he was offering that, yes, that sit, instead of the jumping up, you want to reward that. So this alone right now, I want you guys to realize this. What I'm doing right now is a brain game, is mental stimulation, is enrichment, because it's causing him to think, right? There's something he wants, which is this on, because he knows that this means we get to go on a walk, and I have treats, and he has to do something for it. And I'm not just telling him what I want, right? I'm giving him the opportunity to practice and execute on the behavior that I want, which is a calming behavior. And by doing this, they're gonna learn in the future, and look, yes, good boy, he went to a down. They're gonna learn in the future, anytime I really want something, I better sit or down, because that usually results in me getting a reward or positive reinforcement. So what we're gonna do, up here, pop up, good job. And yes, so see how he went to a down or a sit. This is hard to do and talk, but I'm doing my best, guys. And then I'm gonna put his harness on. Again, all my favorite harnesses and things will be linked in my shop page down below, but I will go through them at the end of the video. Then I'm gonna stand up. Good boy, yes, he remained in an SIT. I put his leash on. And what we're gonna do is then go towards the back door. And oh, we have a chewing on the leash. So I'm gonna make the leash unexciting. Okay, we don't wanna practice that behavior, so I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna take the leash off. Yes, good boy. And then I'm gonna put the leash on. And then so he can't practice that behavior, I'm gonna start moving. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, we come back in. Yes, good boy. Good job. And then this is where I want to reinforce and positively reinforce and reward what he's doing. You don't always have to use food. You can use praise, toys, or their food if you're doing this during mealtime. Then when we approach the back door or the front door, we're gonna wait. Yes, good boy. Good job. I'm not gonna open this door until he's got his focus on me and he's in a calming position. A down or a sit suffices for me, but standing up is not ideal in my opinion, nor is jumping up, and we're biting on the leash. So I'm gonna stand here, give him a second to correct himself. If not, I'm gonna take the leash gently. I'm not gonna yank it out of his mouth. Hop, 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 hop. Good boy. So what I did, yes, good job. Good job. What I did was use a less meaningful word or marker, which I use puppy puppy or pup pup. Good boy, yes, okay. And what he's doing, the reason he starts biting on the leash is because he's trying to get my attention. I know this is like the worst camera angle, but I care more about getting the content to you than getting beautiful camera angles. Can you sit? Good boy. So there you can practice asking them for it. I just like to give them the opportunity to offer it, because if a dog offers a behavior on their own and then you reinforce it with a reward, whether it's treats, toy, praise, or their food, they're gonna learn it much faster. I'm gonna put my body here so he doesn't lunge out. I'm gonna go out first because I don't want him to ever know or think that he can run outside without me. Oh, he stood up, so I'm just gonna wait. And again, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, get to the leash walking. This is how you have successful leash walking. Trust me, I've done it the wrong way many times. This is what's worked for me so many times, and just starting everything off the right way will set the tone and set the expectations now. So now that the door's open, yes, good boy, at ease, let's go. And when you're in your backyard, or at least an area that's not as distracting for them, then I love to work on focusing activities. Wallace, can you sit? Yes, good job. And anytime he looks at me, yes, good boy. I'm just gonna reward with his marker cue. Yes, good boy. And a treat. And again, I'll talk about what my favorite treats are towards the end of the video, so you can stay tuned for that. Yes, good boy. And then I'll do my touch cue. Yes, good job. And because we've been doing this for a while with him, you'll notice that I don't always give him a treat right away when I do the yes. When I say YES, and that's because eventually I want to not have to rely on treats, so I don't always use it, and I randomly give it. Yes, good boy, how he looked at a distraction, which is my dog Bentley. Yes, good boy. And you can also extend the duration over time. So you'll see sometimes I'm giving him a treat after, yes, good boy. I want him to look at me after looking at something else. Now, after you do a couple brain games, a little bit of physical exercise in your backyard, and some focus activities, then we can go on a walk. One thing I learned early on is that dogs naturally walk faster than you and I, and it's not because they're being alpha or pulling on the leash on purpose, it's because they have 4 legs and we have 2, and they're just naturally faster creatures. So when I start my walks, after I've done physical and mental exercise at home, for at least 15-20 minutes before the walk, I like to have the beginning of my walks be a little bit faster pace. So I'm like, got my arms up, I'm like one of those power walkers, and I'm proud of it. What this does is it drains out some of their natural exertion and excitement in the beginning and keeps them focused on you, because we're moving, we're grooving, we're moving, we're grooving, and it keeps them more engaged. Then, in the beginning especially, anytime they look at you, for a split second, we're going to reward with our marker cue, YES. Yes, good boy. And follow with a treat. Now you noticed that sometimes he doesn't, because he's, yes, good boy, that he won't look because he's excited about other things.
you'll notice that what I'll do is I'll turn directions. If you are walking in a straight line with your dog, yes, good boy, yes, you're doing it wrong. Now you see there how he's continuing to look at me? Continue to reward. And then if you start to notice that they're gonna pull or yank or pull at something, turn 180 degrees. If you are not dizzy, by the time you're done working with your dog on leash, you're probably doing it wrong, or they're perfectly leash trained. It's one or the other. Oh, we had something we're growling at, so let's go. I heard a grumble, let's go. I didn't see what it was because I'm focusing on the camera. Please also, pro tip, when you're walking your dog, please don't be on your phone. Please don't be on a camera. Please focus on your dog. Come on. Boop, boop. So we are getting a little pulley. So I'm just gonna keep doing 180s. Yes, and again, once you do a 180, get their attention. Boop, boop, good job. And see how he's focused on that? We're gonna turn around and get his focus. Let's go, let's go. Yeah! And when you're starting off with leash training, I recommend to start just in your front yard. When you can get them to heel loosely next to you, then you can go up and down your street. Once you can get them to heel loosely up and down your street, then you can go to the next street. Do not try to go on a mile walk while they're pulling the whole time. The goal is not to allow them to practice a behavior that you don't want. Yes, good boy. So if they're not being successful, start over and try again later. Also, when I reward him with his toy or his treat where I want his body positioned, which is slightly behind my left leg. It's also on you to be proactively scanning everything that's around you to the best of your ability while also keeping an eye on your dog. For example, there's a runner right there. Wally can get a little triggered by that. So what I'm gonna do is go the opposite direction. Yes, good boy, and reward him. And what that's doing is anytime they see something that might make them a little nervous, they're gonna learn, ooh, if I look at mom or dad, I'm gonna get a reward. And we're gonna go the opposite direction. So I, as the dog, I don't have to manage that. I'm gonna be taken care of. Mom or dad is gonna take care of that, because dogs really understand the world and life in the form of what's safe and what's not safe. And they're also opportunists. So if you can help them get away from things they perceive as danger and then show them that you're going to make sure they're safe and give them something to reward them, like a treat, toy, or praise, then you are going to help teach them very quickly how to be leash trained. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a couple that is walking that can sometimes cause Wally to bark because he gets frustrated when he can't go and see them. And so what I'm doing here is I'm working with him on walking as close as I can to get to them without him reacting. If he starts to react, I'm going to turn a 180 and get his attention. And anytime he chooses to look at them and then look at me, I'm rewarding with YES and a treat. There's actually a little dog 2 yards over that's yelping, and it's making Wally a little uneasy because he's not aggressive. He just wants to go play and he just gets frustrated easily. We're just working around that. One of the best drills you can do with leash walking is find an area like this if you have in your neighborhood this is a dead end, so I don't have to worry about cars or a park or wherever you can walk your dog, I don't care. Doing drills where you're walking back and forth in like 180s and doing diagonals. If you do this every day, one, it keeps you interesting. If you keep walking in a straight line and your dog is still pulling on leash, in my opinion, you're doing it wrong, because you're just not entertaining them. It's not exciting them by going side to side, back and forth, going in circles, going 180s, making left turns frequently. You're keeping your dog engaged. Look at Wally right now, guys. Look at him. He's just, yes, good boy. He's being so good. A lot of people think that a successful walk is a long walk. To me, a successful walk is having your dog out on a leash and not having them bark or lunge or pull. So also one thing, if you're trying to do a left turn and you notice they get in front of you, I don't pull, but I like to guide the leash gently with my hand so I can kind of make that turn without hitting them in the face with my knee or tripping. So that's a good pro tip for you, to be able to keep doing those left turns. And the reason those left turns are important is they teach your dog that they are to go in the direction that you're going, because you're crossing over in front of them and they have to physically turn their body and follow you. They literally have to follow your legs and your body. So this is a really good behavior to do, but many of us avoid it because left turns can be difficult for puppies like Wally, who love to pull and be in front. So it takes a lot of practice, but it's worth it. Also, don't forget to layer in some enrichment and mental stimulation, like sits and downs and touches in between the walk. In my opinion, when you go for a walk, you shouldn't just be walking. They should be getting some enrichment. They should be getting some sniff breaks, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You should be working on some basic sits and downs and focus games all throughout the walking process, because this makes it more engaging for your dog, so they're more likely to listen to you and pay attention. This next activity helps with your dog focusing on you, paying attention to you, listening to you, and leash attention, and that's the chase game. So you could use your leash, or you could use a little bit of a longer lead, and you get your puppy excited to chase you. I do this in the middle of walks, and you could do it for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however you want, and keep it random. But what I do is I just go pop, pop. Yeah, good job. And when he runs after me without me asking for anything, I didn't ask for a here or a recall, I just started running the opposite way, and dogs love chase games most times, and he ran after me. I rewarded with treats or toys or even just praise, and you do that and you go for short durations or long durations. You still have the leash to keep it safe, and what this does is it makes you an exciting target. And you'll notice that I'm running lightly, and I am very clumsy, so be careful. This is just what I do. Follow at your own risk. It can be kind of dangerous. I like to do this in grass, and with small puppies you can go really slow because they're so small. Pop, pop. You can do puppy, puppy, puppy to get them excited. Yeah! And if they're really not engaging with you, you can get down on the ground and pop, 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 pop. Yeah! Woohoo! Come here, good job. Yes, good boy. Yeah! Wally, go sniff. And one thing I love to do is allow my dog to have sniff breaks. I allow my dog to have at least one sniff break during every walk session. And the rules are, you can go sniff whatever you want within reason, and you can lead the way, but you just can't pull me over. It enriches them, it mentally tires them, because their nose, yes, their nose, and using their nose is highly engaging, natural, and very satisfying for dogs. Hi, Wawa. Hi. Yeah, and we'll focus on, well, oh, here you heard me say focus, and we'll work on the focus game. Yes, good boy. Good job, yeah. A big part of leash walking isn't the actual leash skills, it's helping encourage their desire to want to listen to you, be near you, and next to you. Ooh, okay, we're back inside because it is getting hot out there, and I want to do a dog leash walking gear haul where I show you guys exactly what I use. Now, you don't take notes because all of this is linked in my shop page in the description below, but I want to show you why all of these things have been a game changer when it comes to leash walking dogs. First being a hands-free adjustable leash. These are very hard to find, especially ones that are extremely high quality, that are going to be durable, long-lasting, affordable, and something that's aesthetic. So the one I used today was the Dog Plus Bone, a very small company, USA made, woman owned. It's just an incredible little team. Hi, can you lay down so I can show them your collar? Thank you. He's like, oh, I'll bite you, I'll bite you. His collar is a Dog Plus Bone. He has the teal and the dark blue, and love, love, love these brass coated hardware pieces that come with it. So amazing. And these are customizable colors, so you can get them based on what you want for your dog, and it matches the leash. The Wildebeest treat pouch, again, all this linked below, is my favorite. Trust me, I have tried every leash pouch that I could get my hands on, have spent an embarrassingly amount of money on treat pouches over the last decade. This one by far has held up the best, has been the most aesthetic, most functional, and is just the coolest one I can find. So first off, woman owned, one owner. She's an incredible human being out of San Francisco. And these are so great because one, you have the front pouch you could throw your phone in. Two, I mean, they're really aesthetic, a lot of really cool colors. Three, this belt loop is really durable, so you can put it on your pants, or it comes with a strap as well that you can strap around. You can see these little belt hooks right here. Also, this is the coolest part. The top pouch is magnetic, so it's easy as you're going along to just snap your fingers in, grab your treats. But let's say you bend over, instead of them falling out like all the other treat pouches do, it magnetically closes. And I have the matching Wildebeest harness that he was wearing on the walk. This is the darker forest green color, which I don't have the treat pouch with me, it's up at my apartment, but you can get matching harness and treat pouches, which is really cool. But I love this one because for Wally, it works really well to have the front hook, which is what this is, and has worked really, really well with leash training. And the other thing that I use in that company, because they are completely biodegradable, made of plant material, are these poop bags. It sounds silly, but when you are out on a walk, you should always have poop bags with you, of course, and having one that you know is not going to harm the environment more than it has to, and of course one that is
honestly mostly going to be able to pick up whatever droppings they leave, whether they have loose stool or big or whatever, something that will hold up to that. These, plus this is the game changer of why I have completely switched to using these, is they're very easy to open without having to like use your saliva. Like, have you ever been in the situation where like the poop bag will not open unless there's some kind of wetness to it? I don't know, maybe that's just me, I don't know. These open so easily, they're durable, they're thick, so I love, love, love these. You guys also always ask me what treats I put in the treat pouches. Right now, the treats I'm using are the Icelandic combo fish treats. These are incredible because they are air dried, they're sourced sustainably and responsibly, and because they're air dried, the nutrients are much more dense than the ones that are harshly cooked and have a ton of preservatives. The cool part is these don't use any preservatives. There's no added chemicals or toxins in there. In fact, there's only 1 to 2 ingredients in all of their treats, and it's literally just whole food pieces. Plus, they are packed naturally with omega-3s, which is something I'm always looking for because many dogs, plus humans for that matter, are deficient in healthy fats and omega-3s, and these treats have them in it. My dogs love them, and I love supporting a company that puts pet first versus profit first. You guys are also asking me all the time what bandanas the dogs are using. These are made by The Paws. It is a little small, you see a theme here, a little small local company. She hand makes these out of Bali. The proceeds support rescue dogs, and all of those will be linked down below on my shop page. And the cool part is, for every brand that I ever recommend, one, it has to be something that I have either used directly and personally, or highly, highly respect and have worked with directly with the founders or the owners or the head decision makers of the company, so that I can verify that their quality and their standards live up to my values and what I believe to be high quality. And that's why I think you guys are so impressed with the products that I'm recommending, because it's really less of me recommending and more of me just showing you what really works for my dogs and I hope that you can get some value out of that. And I always ask every company that I can if they'll give you guys special codes and discounts, because you are the best pet parent community in all the land, and many of them give you ones, so definitely check that out below. I want to talk more about some of my favorite things for dogs, my favorite pet products and shopping lists. Click the video right here. And if you want to learn more about some brain games and other ways to mentally tire your dog, click the video right here. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.